Hello everybody, welcome to another comic book poser mail call video. Um, I wasn't planning on recording anything today, that I was just going to write about some of the books that came in the mail yesterday, and then two things showed up in the mail today. So I'll talk about one now, and then maybe I'll do another one here in a little bit. So yesterday I posted an interview with Nate Lindley, who's the founder and CEO of Ashcan Comics, and I, was genuinely interested in, some of the stuff that I heard Stoney Williams talk about when he was on the um, Comic Book Live podcast on Tuesday night. So, like I said in that interview, I hopped on their website and supported them on Patreon, so I could, start reading some works that were new to me. And I got a message that said, "We'll throw your package in the mail." And little did I know that their publishing and stuff ships out of Waverly, Missouri, which is like an hour and a half away from where I live. So I got it relatively quickly. So I went to show, kind of what came. And ironically enough, I was getting ready to post a review of some of the material um, that showed up in the mail. So cool. Uh, so the first thing that came is one of their books, and this is the Stoney Williams book that he talked about on the Comic Book Live podcast. And one of the things that I read digitally last night to review Vala the Beast Heart. And you can see that, the book is small in terms of comparing to, a different, regular kind of publication, that it's a, two-thirds of the size, third of the size. But that's not really uncommon from a lot of the small publisher books that, I've picked up at the one or two comic book, conventions or trade shows that I've been to. And, I've talked in blog posts before about how I love a good hard stock kind of cover. Um, and it's nice. And flipping through it, right, the art in Vala really pops. I'm trying to get a good angle where the camera will pick it up off the glare. And it looks as crisp and clean as their digital publications do. And one of the things with Vala that you'll see in the blog post that this is attached to is that this is the first chapter of a short story written by Stoney Williams, and the art is by Lindley himself. So I like how, you're getting images alongside the text to help kind of set this, the scene for what's going on. And then the other book that is attached to this, I have not read yet, but I will here shortly. It's the Lonely Dogs Anthology, which is written by Alex Jourdain. And flipping through that one, right, it's more of a traditional looking, feeling comic book. So, and one of the things that I've, noted in the post that this is attached to is that there are three kinds of offerings that you can find on Ashcan's website. Comics, which clearly we all know what a comic book is. Short stories. So Stoney Williams, Vala is the first chapter in a, Viking feel kind of mythical tale. There's a battle against a kraken, which is dope as shit. And then there's flash fiction, which is, think of it as an anthology of short stories. The other thing that came in the box is a game, Vala the Beast Heart, which it offers instructions on how to play, that you need a die to be able to have the Midgardians fight the Kraken. But what really cracked me up when I got this out, it's very reminiscent of, fourth or fifth grade me, that it's some fucking pogs, which I have not seen, held, or had a pog, since the old medicine tubes that I would carry my pogs around in an old lunchbox when I was a kid. And of course, you can't play a pog-based game without a slammer. So you've got, on one side the rune that you see displayed a couple of times in the Vala book that's branded with their logo on the back. So part of me wants to pop these out and play the game, and it says set number 1. So I'm hoping, in future releases, I can get more Vala Pogs. And if there's a name for them that's not Pogs, I'm sorry. I'm not going to call them anything else because they're Pogs. And you can see how literally excited I am to have some Pogs. So I'll attach this the blog post where I've reviewed Vala and a couple other works. But like I said, in the interview with Nate, that I think this is one hell of a deal in terms of supporting a small publisher. That for $3 a month on Patreon, you can get access to all of their stuff digitally, and there's a lot of stuff up there to read that I've not found anything that I think is bad or not for me as a reader. So I think it's a smart economical decision. And then for $10 a month, they'll send you whatever 2 items are coming out in that month's publication, in addition to some kind of featured item. So if pogs are the first thing that I got in the April distribution, then I'm definitely going to go back and look and see what kind of stuff they gave away to supporters earlier in the year, because I want more pogs, or I want more cool little tangible things that help me get into the world, right? So as I'm slowly waiting for chapter 2 of Vala to come out, I can relive my desire to battle the Kraken and play Pogs in a different way. So support these guys. They're a small publisher. They've got, like I said, good connections to the Midwest, and everything I've seen I've enjoyed. So I found a new person, new group, new publisher to be kind of a bit of a hack for, but I'm okay with that. Just like we're supporting, artists and creators or our local comic book shops. Like I said in the interview post, we most definitely should support small independent publishers as well. That the desire, to support all pillars of the creative writing, the comic book, the what have you community should not be mutually exclusive. So if you've got an extra $10 laying around, or your Trump stimulus check just came, then instead of doing what I'm planning on doing with it, which is the uneconomical thing to do, right? Like paying off debt. I shouldn't pay my credit card off with the stimulus. You should use, 10 of your however many dollars that you qualified for to go support Ashcan Comics Pub or Ashcan Studios. Have a good one.